Hello everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Tales from the Realms. My group have finished Seven Dooms of Sandpoint. A while ago I started thinking about how I could link their characters to Kyonin and the Spore War campaign. So, here is an overview of my players. Antoros Farsumin is a rogue thief from Sandpoint. His original backstory didn't give me much to connect him to Spore War, until fate sold it for me. Antoros was killed by a serpent folk cultist, and in that moment between life and death, something impossible happened. As his soul drifted near the River of Souls, a being made of spores and memory reached out to him, an echo of ancient blight. It sensed a trapped voice within its network, a cry from someone long lost, and no living could hear it. The shade brought him back with a clear purpose: carry the echo to its rightful owner, Aeltian. But being brought back comes with a price. Antoros returned to life burdened with the echo, and until the echo is reunited with the Aeltian, he lives under a supernatural weight and is doomed. After defeating the Red Prophet, Antoros and Cithril married in Sandpoint. Alaris Solveig is a champion of Saren Ray. His mother and father, Magnus and Chalia, left him when he was 6 years old in the care of the Sandpoint Cathedral. He grew up under the watchful eye of Father Elion Talvera and was trained in the art of warfare and justice. Unknown to him, his mother and father were both Knights of Lastwall. After the capital of Vigil was destroyed by Tarbafon, they decided to travel back and help the Knights of Lastwall in their fight against evil. They left Sandpoint and traveled towards Nirmathas with their best friend Connacht Glinley, which is Cithril's father. Alaris died in a pit fighting two Iskolugs. He was reincarnated in the Sandpoint Cathedral and came back as a lizard folk. Cithril Glinley is the youngest child of a broken family. She is born and raised by her mother Arya and her older siblings in Sandpoint. Her father, a stoic elven ranger, was her hero. He roamed the wilds and walked the line between the mundane and the arcane. Cithril idolized him, running to his arms each time he came back from adventures, and begging for archery training. His death, when she was still young, left a void in her that she only filled through bow training. But Cithril doesn't know that he left Sandpoint with Alaris' mother and father many years ago. Connacht Glinley traveled east to Nirmathas with his friends. Under the trees, their ways parted. Connacht traveled back to his homeland in Kyonin, while Magnus and Chalia joined the Knights of Lastwall. Connacht Glinley and his wife Arya were both members of the famous Silver Branch Sentinels, and Connacht was their warden. The Silver Branch Sentinels is a small group of rangers and trackers trained to fight Tree Razor's demonic forces. After many years fighting Tree Razor's minions, they fell in love, and Arya soon gave birth to their first child. With the blessings of Queen Telandia Edasseril, they stepped down from their duties in the Sentinels. Arya gave birth to a boy, and some time later she became pregnant again. But evil does not sleep. An attempt by cultists on Connacht's life nearly succeeded. It was then decided that they should move to Sandpoint, so that the children would grow up in peace. Years later, the Queen called upon Connacht again. The demonic hordes of Tree Razors were not idle. Duty-bound, he left for Kyonin and took up leadership of the Silver Branch Sentinels. In a skirmish behind enemy lines, he and his sentinels were thought to have perished in battle. As months passed by, a message was sent to Arya, saying that her husband was dead. Cithril's heart was broken, but Connacht was not dead. The dryads of the forest nursed him back to life, but kept him as his guest, against his will. Later he escaped and came back. He didn't have the heart to tell his family that he was alive. In those days the demonic hordes killed many elves, and he believed that he would perish on those patrols. This decision broke his heart, so he ventured deeper into enemy territory, fearing nothing. But fate had other plans for him. He survived, and now the Queen gave him a new mission. In my game I'm switching out Shalelu Andosana with Citril's father, Kanak Glinley. Lunayaga is a small monkey, decked in white, thick fur, an awakened animal. He was born in the rolling highlands of the Frosthead Island, where summers were bright and fleeting, and the winters came like an iron grip. His kind lived among the rocky cliffs and frost-tipped pines. Life was simple and harsh, but full of warmth among his family. Then the battle came. The skies darkened and the heavens rumbled. The magic forces in the air were palpable, making the hair stand up on all creatures on the island. It was not thunder that shook the land that day, but sorcery. Baba Yaga herself, locked in battle with a terrible foe. Arcane power carved through the landscape, freezing rivers solid in an instant, tearing the earth apart with great thundering cracks. Trees shattered under the force. Mountains groaned as the very stone was reshaped. The elements themselves screamed with a fury that would make Rovagug himself full of envy. But as with all such things, the true victims are the small, the insignificant, and the helpless. And so Luna and his family were caught in the middle of this battle of powerful beings beyond mortal comprehension. As the tempest of magic surged around him, a single droplet of blood, Baba Yaga's own, fell upon his tiny form, already caught in the ravaging claws of lightning, wind and freezing death. The moment it touched him, his body seized up, the raw power threading itself into his veins. His bones burned with an unbearable cold, his mind filled with whispers of things far beyond mortal understanding. And when the storm finally passed, the land was silent. His family and his friends were gone. He was the only survivor. Baba Yaga walked over to him and gently picked up the small, barely breathing creature. Poor little thing, so weak and fragile. Little one, if I gave you ambition, what would you do with it? I will let you keep this small part of me, these fragile embers of magic. So use your ambition, little one. Become stronger, grow more powerful, or die. For years Lunayaga wandered the wilds, wrestling with the elements that now surged through his small body. He was no longer just a creature of flesh and fur. Something else lived inside him now. Something old, something tied to the frozen winds of the north. He could think, reason, understanding things he did not understand before. One day a trading vessel arrived at the island. They found him lurking near their winter camp. He became their companion, a source of entertainment during long, dreary voyages. A winter storm destroyed the ship, leaving him stranded in the middle of the Verisian Gulf. Sometime later, he washed up on the shores of Sandpoint. This is the story as Lunayaga understands it, but the story is not his own. Baba Yaga did not tell the whole story. Here is the truth of Lunayaga's life. Lunayaga was not born as a monkey. He was one of the Ayodhara, the elves of Kyonin. He was born in a small village close to the Thorngate. When the demon horde attacked Thorngate, he, his wife and his small child was slaughtered. Baba Yaga found him wandering the boneyard, clutching his own child's memory, still burning, still unfinished. Pharasma, the Lady of Graves, would have judged him, but the witch saw a use in him, so she bargained. To claim him, Baba Yaga had to defeat Mirevia the Bone Seer and her beast, Veirund the Carrion Maw. Then, for reasons unknown, the old crone filled the little monkey with the life of that innocent elven child, and created new, memories for him. As we start the Spore War campaign, Lunayaga have been whiskered away by the Witch Queen, taken from Sandpoint like a little kitten. She have told Lunayaga the truth and dumped the small monkey at the feet of Queen Talandia Desiree. Who knows what might happen. Rasvan Deverin was born into the respected Deverin family, one of the 4 founding families of Sandpoint. Ras grew up under the vaulted eaves of Sandpoint Cathedral. His earliest memories filled with the scent of candles, old vellum and polished stone. He soon became a cleric and dedicated himself to the teachings of Gorum. Tragically, Rasvan died in battle in the pit. His friend hauled his body to Magnimar, and he was then resurrected by the High Priest of Pharasma. During his death, he witnessed the assassination of Gorum by Akahekek. As Rasvan turned to life, the God's Rain happened, and a shard from Gorum's armor infused itself into his chest. Gorum's last command to Rasvan was to bring the battle to the demonic forces in Kyonin.